Brilliant Idiots. This most recent episode of Brilliant Idiots, I can't remember what the name is, but Charlamagne was laying out some of the reasons. Well, a few things that were happening was we were celebrating Andrew's life tour media run circuit, pretty much. You know,
did everybody watch it? The special?
I watched some of it. I didn't. Finish.
I saw it live.
I haven't watched it. 1 out of 10.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
1 out of 10 right now.
It already is a little different.
No, not yet.
So what you mean 1 out of 10?
I'm asking you.
It's a little different.
Oh, I thought you were saying it's a 1 out of 10.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what I thought I heard.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
I was
but
like, damn.
Nah, it was. I watched probably like 20, 30 minutes of it. It was pretty funny. There was some moments where I didn't expect the laugh to come in that spot, and that was good. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I didn't expect the laugh to come there, and that was good.
I would say it's a 7. It's a solid 7. Objectively. But me, like,
try not to use 7. Pick a side, 6 or 8.
I think 7 is it. I think 7 describes it
Just
perfectly.
try to
come
pick
on,
a side,
AJ.
though.
Be reasonable now.
Be reasonable.
That's a number, nigga.
I am being reasonable.
I gave my rating. Nigga said make it higher or lower.
Do what Lauren did. I don't like that question.
Because that's normally like this side of the bridge. Niggas don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you say. Because
8 make you really commit to was it good or not, nigga. If you say 8, it was good.
I'm trying to be objective because there's certain shit that I don't like in stand-up comedy specials.
But somebody else might like it.
Somebody else might not care. Like I don't like pictures or like show, and it wasn't like it wasn't a bad moment by any means. And honestly, I get why he did it because like it just
it all fit.
It made it go.
Talking about the little bed picture
shit like that. I'm like. You know, in my head, and I'm trying not to be an asshole about it. But
ass nigga.
Yeah,
Don't nobody want to walk down your memory lane.
Fucking paint the picture with your words.
Hey, right.
But yeah, I don't. You know.
That was the main focus of the episode. I would say at least the first little bit or whatever. And Charlamagne was also expressing his newfound no respect for reactionary YouTube channel and podcasts about podcasts. That was probably the biggest.
All of the podcasts about podcasts.
Yeah, and why he doesn't respect it, and they were laying out reasons why they don't respect it now because he used to find it very entertaining.
Yes, and
well, let's listen to it real quick.
Okay,
it was at like 15, right?
It was right at 15, I think. Maybe bring it back to 14:30.
14:37. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
That's a vulnerable, scary thing to do.
Yeah.
I admire that. Like, do I disagree on certain things? Yeah. But I still admire, if you're a reaction channel, most of you have never put out something to be judged. You don't know what it's like to work really hard on something, give it out there to the world, for them to hate it or love it. That's a vulnerable, scary thing. You just hate things.
I was thinking about that the other day. Me and Ak was having a conversation, and I was thinking about why don't I respect the reaction channels anymore? I used to enjoy them for entertainment, and that was what the reason was.
There's no vulnerability in it.
Not only is there no vulnerability,
no art. Yeah.
You know why we love First Take? You know why we love we'll watch Fox Sports because they'll have people on there who've actually either played the game or been so involved in the game that you respect what they're saying. It's a reason that a podcast like the R&B Money podcast with Tank and Jay Valentine works.
Yeah.
Because Tank was an R&B star. Jay Valentine's a producer or a writer. They've had actual success. So when they talk about the game in the industry, you listen. And that's why when they, the L.A. Reid, Smokey Robinson going there and have conversations, it's a different vulnerability they have with those guys because they respect them and what they've done. The reason, you watch some of these reaction channels or you watch some of these podcasts about podcasts, you don't even know what you're talking about. And you haven't even had the success of any of the people that you're talking about.
And you haven't even felt the judgment when you do put yourself out there. It's a very comfortable, low risk position to just shit on things. It is the lowest risk.
It's low risk, high reward.
Oh, yeah.
If it hits, it hits.
That's why everybody does it. It's the easiest form of content. I'm going to sit down and people are going to try hard on things and I'm going to shit on them when they fail. Yeah. And I'll never congratulate them when they succeed.
No.
Because there's no money in it.
You should thank us. When y'all succeed, you should literally at least twice a year say, thank you.
You're welcome.
To everybody that you're talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
To me. But it was enjoyable, man. One thing I enjoyed about the 𝔓𝔦𝔑 interview, man. I don't know
the most epic, it was such a lovely flow out. Yeah.
You think he thanks Ray J every year, twice a year?
Because that's his.
Because Ray J's will put Breakfast Club on.
Like literally, no. But I think
Figuratively.
Figuratively, yes. But nah, in all seriousness, I think I have heard him say like that was a big moment that like really changed it. But every year, nah.
Twice a year.
So
twice a year.
Twice a
No,
year.
no,
Every
not
6
at all.
months, check in. Kiss that nigga's feet.
Should you have? So you have to be better than the people that you're critiquing. Like,
Well, let's stick with what he said. Should
Yeah.
you have to have reached the same level of success?
yeah, like does Gilbert Arenas? Does he have any right to talk about LeBron?
He does because he was an NBA
Yeah, he was
player.
an NBA
But in terms of
And
height,
then that's where
but that's where it gets tricky because
that's where
you
it's
are
not that strong of a point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
right,
you're
right.
an NBA player, but you didn't reach the heights that LeBron hit,
Oh,
nigga.
okay.
You ain't
You're
get
right.
that
You're
shit.
right. You're right.
You ain't
Like,
get 4 rings.
That's a fact. Yeah.
You know,
so it's
even with like like a show
Gilbert
like
was-
LOI
Gilbert
the
was one
show,
of them,
just
though.
a
Shit, Chuck.
Gilbert
no
was
rings.
one of them though.
Chuck, who I hate
No rings.
as a player,
Yeah.
but
He was one of them too, though. We talking about.
he's
guys
one
who
of
are
those
them.
guys. Like he talks the most,
Yeah, but
and
Chuck
he wasn't the worst.
We're talking
He
about great players,
He
though.
played with his heart, so he's held to higher.
Use a different
standards,
player,
but
though.
still. No rings has the most to say about people like KD though. Granted, KD is like he's but that's just a bad argument because it'll only be one person able to critique.
Michael
and
Jordan.
he might not be able to. He might not care about it.
But people would say to your point simply, at least they played in the league. They played in the game.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too easy of a point to just throw away because I can say that.
But
I could say this. And now we have an argument.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's no clear winner, but
And as far as like reaction channels, are reaction channels the easiest thing?
specifically hating everything is easy. That is something I agree
that
with.
is easy.
Like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
coming up on like, yeah, that's not good. Like show me what good is then, nigga. Like
Yeah.
you can't just be
hating everything
course.
is definitely the easiest.
That's
Of course.
that's definitely
Yeah.
true. But reaction channel, a lot of reaction channels, this is not their first time making content.
no.
A lot of the
They're,
times
they're not beginners.
they was putting other stuff out and it just like it didn't hit it. It was all right, and then they found something that was working for them, and then they did it.
and it could be used. It could be also be looked at as like they were training for the level that they're at now too.
Yeah,
Like by having all those attempts that they made out
And that they failed
before,
at,
that they
yeah.
failed at.
Are we a reaction channel?
Is this show a reaction?
Are we
channel?
like a hybrid?
I think the
Gas.
funniest part, I just do want to throw this out there. I do think something that I found like funny is that there was emphasis on reaction channels, but this episode felt like we were just reacting to the 𝔓𝔦𝔑 Andrew Schultz interview for like the first. I said, "What are we doing right now?"
You know what's even more ironic?
Yeah.
Andrew's point was the reaction channel niggas have never put something out into the world and to have it be critiqued and judged back.
Right.
That's what they're doing to the
That's
niggas
what-
right now.
That's the shit that's crazy about
Them
it.
niggas be
He's
sounding-
doing it right now.
Hey, bruh, I swear to God, bruh, this whole thing, podcast about podcasts, when it gets too close, everybody just starts to sound stupid. It's just like
It destroys itself.
it's just like,
we're in
the
enigma.
like as you're trying to cook, I feel like I'm watching Homeroom.
Yeah.
I'm watching Homeroom
yeah.
adjacent. Niggas
Yeah.
is dropping clips. I'm like, where are we going right now?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I want to be able to just be like,
Yeah.
cook me, nigga.
But
Cook-
you're
cook
also
this
just-
whole system.
Yeah.
But damn, I'm watching Homeroom right now.
It's too much
Having
of
a
a-
good time. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately.
It's pretty good because I didn't watch the Club Shay, so I get to hear the little bits and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Niggas is like, niggas is.
I get my little recap and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Stay up to date.
I got a good judge
get my
on
little
what
fix.
I get a good judge on what happened over there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah.
I just thought I'm just like
And three humble
listen,
opinions.
And three humble
Yeah.
opinions. We got crazy and
Too much conversation. It's a lot of
I
conversation happening.
don't know who that new nigga is behind the camera, but it hasn't been Alex recently.
Yeah.
It's I don't know his name. I forgot his name. Is it Miles?
I kind of like when he adds in. He kind of adds.
Is that Miles who's adding?
It might be
in
his
there?
name.
Yeah, I
I
think
just don't know, but I know it's a white dude.
He's a cool guy.
Miles is up there with him.
I just feel like now when I
Miles
hear
is a
him
cool
add
name.
in, it'd be like his add-ins are very conscious to what the show needs to go forward or a new conversation point or I feel like when he does throw in his little thing,
Uses it wisely.
he uses it wisely.
Yeah.
I
It's
haven't-
literally breaking case.
I haven't felt like it's been wasted yet.
He got a Lauren. They
Yeah,
got a
like
Lauren on their side.
I've just seen solid assists so far, compared to like Alex is more of a friend to even us as listeners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I'm listening to Alex chime in, I'm not really listening for him to throw an assist or alley oop or offer a different perspective. It's just like Alex is saying some shit. They're gonna go back to the guys at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this nigga, he's like, I don't want to be part of the conversation, but
I almost don't want y'all to hear me.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, you forgot that side of the story. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like,
Exactly.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, nah, like what do y'all think about this though?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Shit
And then
like
he
that.
steps back, and we don't hear from him for a while again.
I like
Yeah,
dudes like
I
that.
like how he kind of,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
You know, he do what he do.
Yeah, I like that.
Said he thinks like a lawyer. That's good.
What other points were made in that episode? They're not all we didn't all play them here, but like what other points were made in that podcast
About the
being too
pod-
long?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Podcast being too long. A tight hour is what Charlamagne said until the Podfather spoke.
He said
was-
that part. I didn't even hear that
He
part.
did, and he was like, absolutely not. That is way too
So
short.
the hour is a little light.
2.5, and then he was like, it kind of.
Yeah, 90 minutes. I think
Yeah.
he said 90 minutes.
said
that
90
sweet
minutes?
spot.
Yeah. It was like he was trying to like, I don't know. It was crazy. But Chris was like, no. When me and Combat Jet started, it was out of control.
And
He just wouldn't stop. It was 2-3 hours, and then come to find out this episode was 2.5 hours.
and like
So you know, it's like
to what
his heart was in the right place. I think.
yeah, nah.
Charlotte's or Chris's?
I mean, Charles was trying to be in. It was in the right place for himself.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in the right place to like
For the world.
to pose a strong argument against this right now when we're about to just redo this
Yeah.
again.
And how like what does Charlamagne I'll give Andrew his credit. Like he's a comic. You go on stage by yourself, apparently, unless you want to use pictures of your family and shit. But with Charlamagne, he's a broadcasting, he's a media guy.
Yeah.
Like Charlamagne is famous by himself, but he's not worth much if other famous people aren't coming up to like the Breakfast Club and like his orbit.
He needs hip
You
hop.
feel me?
He needs hip hop to do things for him to react to
Like
every day.
just as much as
yeah.
the other.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the relationships again between the media and
mainly hip hop. Like I need every rapper to do something, drop something, whether it be
So
in
it
music. I
literally-
need something to react to.
It
as
literally
well.
works the same way.
I agree with you, and I absolutely agree with you.
Kinda.
But I think the only argument that could be made against that is that like rap is so big, and like podcasting is huge, but it's also new that it's gotten to the size to where that can happen to them. You know what I mean? Like
The media giant being touched is still a very new concept.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like reviewing the media, this shit didn't happen before.
What the
Like,
fuck
niggas
is this?
didn't,
This
like,
is lame as hell. Like
y'all, it was-
following them more than the artist.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
think it's probably just that growing phase of like understanding where
Coping.
niggas
Niggas
at.
are still coping with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the new thing. Some are coping harder than others.
Isn't that what it's supposed to be though? Like you're not supposed to. Usually, the
supposed
person
to hate the new
that jokes
generation.
on people the most hates being joked on.
Yeah.
They're
Sometimes.
they're also talking about the people who don't like what they've been doing. Because there's a lot of reaction channels. There's a
Yeah.
lot of niggas in support of shit. There's a lot of niggas that's hating on shit. You choose what you watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the show that you watched most regularly, even though it was like 3 hours, there was always, timestamps at some point and clips for you to just kind of get through it a lot quicker. You know what I'm saying? If they're just like consistently like, fuck that nigga now.
Yeah.
I can understand why I hate it now. You know what I'm saying? I hate it too. It's
Yeah, of
shit.
course.
I fuck it.
And now I can't understand it because I'm mad. So
Yeah,
it's like I
yeah,
can't literally like sit
I'm
down and
already-
be able to look at the optics of like, okay, I get why this is happening. Like I'm that
yeah.
big of a commodity. Of course.
Because
this
what
is-
happened to all those things that I thought were valuable before, they just went away overnight.
They just disappeared.
They just disappeared. This was valuable. And it wasn't just entertainment.
Yeah.
It was valuable for these bullet pointed reasons. All those bullet pointed reasons are just now. I don't have to respect that anymore. So let's go over to Schultz's point. One of his biggest points. I think Schultz, I do always like when
Schultz is closer.
I always like when they talk because who knows who they're talking about? They're talking about a podcast about podcasts. I don't know who exactly they're talking
And
about.
they don't put out any other
But for YouTube purposes, they were definitely talking about Homeroom University. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the smart thing to do.
Podcast about podcasts.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Yeah, it's the smart thing to do.
I'm not
based
gonna
on
lie,
what-
I'm the only nigga to say that shit, bro.
Yeah, right.
I'm the only nigga on YouTube that podcast.
Yeah.
Unless y'all do it.
Poetic Flocko. Let me tell y'all, Poetic Flocko called me. I'm minding my business. I haven't talked to Poetic Flocko in a nice little minute. As soon as I answer the phone, FaceTime. Boy! I was
Smiling
like,
and
what?
shit.
He said, y'all niggas is really beefing now. He said, hey, look, man, he said your name. I said, he said my name? He said, a podcast about podcasts. That's as good as we're gonna get.
It's not the
today.
same Flocko.
No, but he said
Yeah.
that shit had me rolling. He said, that's as good as we're gonna get, AJ. I'm about to cover all this.
That's
He
more
said,
than
taking a run
nigga,
with it.
that's more than what Flacco get. He could have made it. Oh my god.
Yo, Flocko's made videos with less information.
With little
Yeah, bro. He said that was the moniker. He said he didn't have to say the name. He said the moniker. That's you.
That's even worse.
Flacco makes the most out of nothing.
Yeah,
Make
but
a pizza with a pepperoni slice. And
just in case he wasn't talking
mozzarella
about us,
Cheese and mayonnaise.
just
what was I saying? I think that I always find it
Combined.
interesting when they talk about YouTube creators and go through these like cycles in conversation where they talk about YouTube, reactionary channels, podcasts about podcasts, lazy people, or taking the easiest route to
Delete
get
it.
clicks off of hate, you know? Because Schultz, his opinion, I understand it if I'm him. The reason I understand it with him, his whole point was you as a creator have never put a piece of art out that's left to be scrutinized and judged. Even though it's not 100% wrong,
that's a hell of an assumption.
I get what he's saying
That is
because
a hell of
it
an
is
assumption.
it's a crazy assumption.
Because you have to say somebody's name specifically.
You're
now.
right. Yeah, you
But-
know what I'm saying? So, but as YouTube creators and everybody that knows how hard it is to get 1,000 views on YouTube, you putting that piece of content out that gets 200,000 or 100,000 or 50,000 or 1,000, that is a piece of art. And that is a piece of art that was put out to the world,
Yeah.
left to be scrutinized and vulnerability. Now, I'm a comedian, Andrew Schultz. He might only be chalking it up to, you have the nerve to talk about my comedy, but you've never stepped foot on stage. That's a little different.
And that's
yeah.
That might be a better argument for him.
But
to
he
be
better
making,
not be
but
making
it's-
that.
But he shouldn't make that because it kind of moves it
Yeah.
from the
It
original
does,
topic.
but that's the most it makes sense to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
He could also be talking about the
But-
level,
and
though.
sadly, he didn't even mean that.
Yeah, I don't think that
because he
yeah.
should have said that.
Because he's not talking just straight content. He means all art, all media.
It could also mean like
content.
the level of like how much it's digest, like how high he is up on there and being vulnerable on that level, that scale, I guess. But it's like,
oh, I see.
You see what I'm
Because
saying?
you can only be so big and still be vulnerable. like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Right.
And that rarity is rare.
Is rare, yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, I
It's
think he
just
could be talking
easy
about
to
that.
shoot from the ground.
Yeah.
We're not gonna aim back down at you like you over there.
Yeah.
They aim at the ground too. They aim at the ground. A lot of them don't like to aim at the same level that they're at.
You know what they do?
When they get up
they
there,
throw shit up
niggas
in
get,
the air.
niggas get pussy when they get to the top.
They're
for
afraid
real.
they're gonna like not focus up and fall. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Because
like,
it's a
niggas-
balancing act when you got to shoot and fucking, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like I
You
always
think
find
it's
it.
pussy, or you think it's like trying to understand what leverage they might be giving?
I think it's pussy because it's like I think it's pussy. Like these niggas are this high and mighty. I'm too good to respond to this shit. When most of the time, when a nigga on their level or maybe above them, the person that we really should be seeing you go back and forth, they don't want no problem with it.
Yeah.
They only go to somebody who's already getting dogpiled. They go to somebody who's below them.
Yeah.
And you don't see a lot of these people squaring up with niggas that they're opponents, that they're in the same weight class with.
Unless their name is Corey Holcomb.
Yeah.
Corey Holcomb ain't scared of nobody.
Yeah.
No, dead ass, bro. Like
Comes with
that's
a cause, though.
which is why. But then
Which is why he's Corey Holcomb.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but a lot of them talk like I spit on these niggas below me, but they're the same ones that you keep talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How much spitting is really happening? Pause.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't even know. It just sounded. I just threw it in there just because.
I'm willing to walk. I'm just like, we can move on.
Yeah. So I do find that funny
Had to
where it's
breathe.
like they don't want no smoke with the nigga on their level.
Yes.
None.
It's only a couple chosen few that are able to like punch up, down, sideways,
Niggas
and
go-
still
Where
Where
be
do you
out
put
here.
Elliot at
Down.
in term below him, right?
Down. That was just. I thought that was embarrassing.
Ack?
Like, Ack, same level.
Charlamagne on Charlamagne?
Yeah, if
Yeah,
Charlotte.
same level or slightly above.
Probably.
But Ack and Charlamagne already have that weird thing where when Charlamagne takes shots at Ack, and that it's always really respectful. You know, this is my guy, this is my mentor. I'm academics. This is my guy, my mentor. But he's actually wrong right here, and this is why he's wrong. And then when Charlamagne will speak on academics, you know, there's a lot of these pages, you know, like my guy Ack, you know, they just running with the false information, and it's better. They try to school each other and educate each other in a dissing way. It's not like you said these things. No, nigga, how about this? You do these things. You know what I mean? Like,
but
there's no real toe to toe.
That's probably most relationships. They're just waiting.
Yeah.
Like the motherfuckers are just waiting until like, well, nigga, you like with our homie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
nigga,
Yeah.
but you did this.
Nigga, I picked you up from jail yesterday. Shut up.
So yeah, that's always funny. I'm trying to think. There was something else that was said.
Shout out to homie.
There's something else that was said that was like,
That was in that original statement?
yeah, possibly. And it was just like, man, we're just letting shit go.
It infuriated you.
No, I just said, man, this is crazy. First of all, this is the first 15 minutes of the podcast. And it was just, and I thought it was just funny because it was like, Andrew was kind of just like celebrating, but Charlamagne was like, let me make sure I find my moments to get my shit off.
Yeah.
But how
Look,
fuck with these niggas.
Can I be honest? As people who listen to podcasts, talk about podcasts and shit like that, can we not say that conversation they had just now was a lazy conversation?
Oh, yeah, them?
Them.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lazy
yeah,
conversation.
Yeah,
That was a lazy podcast conversation.
yeah. In terms of trying to cook something.
In terms of trying to cook something or to try to extrapolate it.
Yeah, it was bad.
But
That's why I said
You see what I'm saying?
the closer it gets, the nastier it gets.
Did
every
it,
time.
what
thing
did they
about
really
it-
extrapolate?
It could have
thing
been better.
about it-
There's nothing that's extrapolated.
Yeah, nah. Did somebody
That's what
say
I'm
that they
saying.
did that?
No,
He's
but
just
I'm
saying,
saying,
I
like-
can't believe how lazy it was. The fact that we were just able to just do this to him so quick. Just
Because
pick the
they
shit
don't want to
apart.
have a real discussion about
No.
it.
Yeah.
Like
No.
they just want they both come from the same place to where it's like, I don't really be liking what niggas say. And
Yeah.
so how can I find like after that has been established,
Yeah.
let's justify everything else around it.
Right.
And there's no need
Try
to
to
talk
make
about
sense of
anything
it.
else.
Yeah.
And you know, yeah, how about it?
I get what you're saying though, and it was all pointless to them. This was about a specific group of people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we gotta grease that shit. My fault.
That's I thought that was a dog squeak toy or something.
Nah.
That was crazy.
I thought it was F-Max.
That's the fucking. I thought F-Max stepped on like a squeak toy.
I
or
thought he
something.
brought his rubber ducky.
Yeah, but
F-Max got on some.
I don't think there was anything else. I had some other slick shit that I was gonna say off the top of my head, but I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah,
Just
this
start with an F and end with a U.
what
No.
I don't know why I slowed it. U.
Are you talking about two words? I don't
he
know.
was did we talk about
if y'all? What? My bad.
I was about to say, did we talk about the point to where he was saying that we don't like niggas don't know what they're talking about?
I think
Because that was another piece of the
we did.
conversation.
That is the last thing that we kind of need to address. But I kind of addressed that in the previous chapter before this, when there are a lot of things. First of all, there's a couple things that happen as you go into an industry. Whether you've reached the same heights as somebody that you may be speaking on, you start getting new connections and meeting these people and meeting people, whether they be the actual people on screen or the corporations, either one. But long story short, a lot of small businesses are running the same exact level as corporations. It's just the only difference is scale. So the things that work for a small business that only gets 3,000 views is the same thing that I've noticed and that a lot of people have noticed in meetings and vice versa. When you go to these corporations that are looking for 3 million in return, are looking at the same fundamentals that you were looking at it for 3,000. You know what I mean? So no, you don't have to hit the same heights or have the same accolades, if that's what we want to call it, as the person that you're speaking on when you're in the business. And
Because nobody.
and also sometimes with enough information, whether you are directly next to it or not, your knowledge of the industry, the craft or the art form, the thing could give you enough insight to where you are 90% on. Could be completely wrong too. But a lot of the times you'd be 90% on. I would say in our case, based on the vast amount of people that we have spoke about or spoke to, whether they be directly a part or adjacent, we never even said, do we? one of the people in particular, I won't say who they are. They were like, the thing that I find the most interesting and that I like the most about you is that you don't know a fucking thing, but you get 90% of the things right. That was one of the people. I won't say who it is. I just won't say who it is.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know. It makes it
But
better.
it matters.
But
is
that a compliment?
It's not really a compliment because we're not talking about complex
I don't think it's
situations that
it's
have
not really
to
a
deal
compliment, but I think they found it fascinating
Yeah.
that somebody that's not in the inner circle could figure it out just by watching the outside.
But does that go? Is that really?
Is that skill? Like
that's kind of telling
I don't
you.
even know if that's skill.
That's like
Just niggas doing shit.
No,
how
not
good
even
did they
skill,
think they
just
were hiding what they were doing? Like how good did they think they were hiding what they were doing?
That could be another
It's like
thing.
wow, you really did. It's like nigga, I could see it.
Right, yeah, low key.
It's not that hard.
They might have thought they were really moving on some covert shit.
Yeah,
that's
it's like a
true,
lot of
that's true.
shit
Yeah.
that we talk about, you know, it is certain, but it has to deal with principles and boundaries and morals.
Yeah, facts.
A lot of times, like even what we're talking about now, they're being hypocrites.
Yeah, and a lot of the times when we are making like assumptions on things, it is like I can't fuck with that. Just as a human, I don't like that shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And
It's
then
like
because we in it,
Yeah.
we know what they're thinking sometimes.
right.
You feel me?
If I saw this happen, how would I feel in it? Because I am in it.
Yeah,
Even if it's not on the same scale.
which is also a part of being a good, what do you say, analyzer?
Analyst, yeah.
A good analyst is like
It's like low budget sociology, low key.
Yeah.
You know, the study of humans.
we're
behavior.
social engineers.
We're social. That's a fact. Social engineers, title of the
Yeah.
episode 99.25.
Like Prometheus, nigga. I'm the bald white dude.
yeah, man.
Like Elon.
But nah, man, it's being hypocrites. I don't know
Now,
if we
one
wanted to go to 𝔓𝔦𝔑 and kind of tie this in because you know 𝔓𝔦𝔑 had asked Andrew a question, and it was just like, you know, a lot of people say you use stereotypes a lot. You know, that's kind of
Now,
like
is this part of
that's like your shtick.
we can go over there? I'll hit the
Yeah,
bell.
we can go over there.
Is this part of did they review this in the Bray Idiots episode or we're going to the Club 𝔓𝔦𝔑?
We're going to Club 𝔓𝔦𝔑.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.